Is the Wheel of Time prequel New Spring worth reading, or is it just a waste of time? I'll stick to non-spoilers at the start here, just to give you an idea if you want to read it or just skip over it, and from there I'll just give my thoughts on the quick story. It's only about a little bit over 300 pages. Starting off, I will say that it is a nice read, but it's not necessary at all. It's completely your choice on if you want to go through this. There's no plot impertinent information, just more characterization of people you know. And I will say that it is worth reading. It was, depending on where you place in the series, it might be a nice break from the action. I read it after book 12, which is not a good place to read it after. I would suggest reading it before Fires of Heaven or before Knife of Dreams, just to aid a little bit more in seeing depth in characters before certain events happen. I'll give some non-spoiler outline of the story to where it revolves around really two characters, Lan and Moraine, who you will get to know very well in the main entries of the series, and this is their journey to becoming Warder and Aes Sedai, and how they originally met and how their motives lie together. And I won't say much past that because a lot of the plot points are not plot points until many books down in the series, which is why I don't recommend reading it until later. But the plot is engaging enough. It's nothing super special. Besides that, I'll just say that it is a little slow, especially for 300 pages, but you do get sides of characters that you haven't seen before, and you get to see development in ways that you wouldn't have previously noticed in the mainline series. Overall, I give it a recommendation, but it's not totally necessary. As I said, read it before book 5 or book 11. Do not read it first. I think Eye of the World is a much better opening to the series, and I guess on a reread you could read it first, but as a first-time reader, do not read this first. Like and subscribe if you enjoy. I'm going to move on to my thoughts on the main story. Well, the story pretty much just revolves around Moraine and Lan, Moraine becoming Aes Sedai and trying to seek out the Dragon Reborn, Lan trying to shut down the lady that's trying to revive Malkier in his name, and overall, I thought it was good. It was real nice to see a less mature Moraine. After the way she was before she did something in book 5, she was very calm, she was very collected, she had a plan, she had a purpose. It was cool to see childish prank Moraine that liked doing stuff and like messing around. Also Siwon, although later on in the book, Siwon kind of gets that back a little bit. Lan is not just an indomitable figure that is just like a force of nature. He actually has personality, which is cool. And so, although I really like him in the mainline series, it's cool to see a different side to him. Some of the things I did not like were so much talk about dresses and horses, and the weird relationship between Lan and that one lady that essentially was his first love. Like, that was really awkward. I was like, I know this is supposed to be written weirdly, but like, it was quite uncomfortable. Besides that, I overall think it was pretty decent in adding depth to these characters that we already know and have an image of in our heads. The scenes that stuck out to me the most were obviously when the Black Aha sisters just dropping the king and his son and the daughter of the land's lady off the edge. Like, that was super dark, and like, it set the path and set the tone of what Moraine and Lan's journey for the next 20 years would be like. That was just excellent, along with like when Moraine got her shawl and went through the testing, the 100 gateways, after setting up that like she didn't have the weaves and she just like has to come in clutch and like keep her calm. Like, that was great. I do think this could have been a little bit shorter. There was a lot of fluff with like filling out names and writing stuff down. It is a very detailed filled book, but like details that didn't really matter in the long run. I think that as like a long-term fan would like it. Like, this is something that you could pick up and go through and get a little glimpse of the Wheel of Time world and get that little hit instead of having to start a book and then you're like, well, I want to keep on reading and reading and reading because it is so separate from everything else. I think you could go through this and be like, okay, I'm satisfied. Overall, I give it a thumbs up for a prequel. It wasn't necessary, but it was good enough. Like and subscribe if you enjoy. I am currently on Towers of Midnight. Only 2 more books till I'm done with the series. Thanks for watching.